Today on CityCast Chicago, we are celebrating a major birthday today. No, I'm not talking about mine, though. Happy birthday to me. No, I'm talking about the 99th birthday for the iconic Route 66, which begins and ends right here in Chicago. So let's take a quick little road trip on the nation's mother road. It's Wednesday, April 30th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. All right, in about 2 minutes, you're going to feel like you've been transported to the heart of the loop right outside the Art Institute. You're going to hear the Bucket Boys, the cars, the crowds, and then we're going to take you out near the city limit. We're going to spend most of the time on Ogden, which some people might know has its roots all the way back to indigenous trails like many of Chicago's diagonal streets. There's a little fun fact for you. We are going to pass hospitals and parks, murals, places to grab a pizza puff, because you know that's what we do here on CityCast Chicago and have been doing for the last 4 years. Exploring the entire city, finding new ways to see it with new eyes, dropping fun facts along the way. But before I take you there, I'm hoping you'll take a minute to support this work by becoming a CityCast Chicago neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We've been talking about it all week long, and we are almost at the end of our spring membership campaign. The reason I keep interrupting the show to talk about it is because membership is the most effective way to ensure that we stick around for another 1,000+ episodes. CityCast Chicago and Hey Chicago are free. It's been free since the very start. There is no paywall, and we ain't planning to add one. But y'all know it costs money to make this show. And with so much uncertainty, your membership is something we can rely on so we can keep bringing these conversations to all of Chicago. For you, it's $10 a month, less than most of the cocktails in the city. And for us, that means crucial support. Plus, when you become a CityCast Chicago neighbor, we're going to send you our shiny new mug with the brand new logo. You're going to get invites to members only events, plus other perks and bennies. You can head over to membership.citycast.fm to join now. You know, call it a birthday present to your boy. One more time, that's membership.citycast.fm. All right, let's hear from the Bucket Boys. I am out here on the corner of Michigan and Adams, my friends, at the start of the legendary Route 66. I am here with our friends from 77 Flavors of Chicago, Sarah Fada and Dario Durham. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling today?
What's happening? We on the street, we on the block this time.
Bro, we have spent so many conversations in our little cozy, warm rooms over Riverside, but now we are out here. We got the Bucket Boys in the background. I like to call them Andre 3000 and Big Boy, the two Art Institute lions. Yeah. But we're down here to talk about Route 66 because almost 100 years ago, this thing was designated and started up. But we know y'all, local Chicago historians, y'all could really give us a deep dive on this route's history. And honestly, the question is it still important? Is it still significant 100 years later? But let's kind of set the scene a little bit, kind of give us a little bit of the history of Route 66.
Yeah, so Route 66, like you said, is 99 years old as of right now. Next year is the 100-year anniversary. November 11th, 1926 is when it started. And if anybody is not familiar, it is the Mother Road coined by John Steinbeck. And the whole purpose of Western expansion. This was starting, and where else to start? In Chicago. Railroads were doing what they were doing. People needed work and they wanted to make some money. And so that's why it started right here. And like you said, there's a lot of change that's happening with it. Not so much in Chicago, but as we get to Joliet, St. Louis, and then the other, New Mexico and everywhere else, a lot of change is going on.
Growing up, again, it's been called the Mother Road. It basically, I don't want to say pioneer road trips, but when people think about like the Great American Road Trip, they think about Route 66. Growing up, is this something you knew about?
Well, what's wild is growing up in thousands of miles away from here, I already knew, I didn't know what it was, but I knew that it was the road that you take to go on road trips. That was like the idea of a road trip. I'd seen it in like movies, read about it in books, but never actually knew what it was.
Yeah, I always wanted to do it.
I know that it starts in Chicago, ends in LA, but starting endpoint in Chicago, off the top of the dome, do you know all of the states that the legendary Route 66 passes through?
Here's the thing, I don't know all the states, period.
Let's name 50 altogether. I think, so I'm going to say Illinois, Missouri, Texas, Nevada, New Mexico, and California. I believe are all the states that it goes through. I think I'm right on that.
Let me see.
Let's see.
Illinois, Missouri, Kansas,
Oklahoma,
Texas, New Mexico,
I missed two.
Arizona, and California. What's interesting is at this time, different parts of like the country are trying to revive Route 66.
Yeah.
You're starting to see more signs pop up. Like I can't remember this like NASCAR themed checkered
it's
flag Route 66. Okay, how new is it?
Probably last summer. So, so it's very new. Interesting thing about the signs that you bring those up because so there's this sign, the newest sign, and I think that's only Chicago. But the signs that we see, that the brown signs, those are the modern historic signs. So those are the kind of like the original signs, but they're signs that predate that. I don't think that a lot of people, even Chicago, probably knows where it starts because a block over from here is the end point of it. So, and that sign, I didn't know that sign was there. So to see the end of, because it technically ends in Santa Monica. So, but like it starts here.
Yeah, we're gonna go over to the sign. Historic Route 66, the main street of America. In the 1920s, America became an automobile nation. At the start of the decade, there were 8 million cars on the road, but roughly 32,000 of the nation's 2.5 million miles of rural roads were paved, making transcontinental travel prohibitively slow. By the end of the 1920s, Americans owned 23 million cars, with many driving Henry Ford's affordable Model T.
You sound like back in the day, too. That's probably how they sound saying it.
It got its official name on, I believe, April 30th, 1926. Yeah. April 30th, an important day. Yeah. Of course, I came into the world, 1991.
Shout out to
Route 66 sort of phased out over different decades, right? Its boom was like the 30s and the 40s, but by the 50s, when more interstate highways are popping it up, and then by the 70s, and I think the Route 66 Commission shut down.
85.
There we go.
85.
Oh my God.
85.
And so, Simone, can you describe the route we're going to take today? We're going to kind of do a guide to Route 66 in Chicago, talk about some things you can see along the way, some restaurants you can stop at, but what's the exact driving route we're going to take?
Yeah, so old Route 66 basically covers Ogden. We're going to take Ogden to Cermak, and that's basically where it ends at city limits in Chicago. And so we're going to go through several different neighborhoods. We're going to pass UIC. We're going to pass Douglas Park and talk about some things you could see along Route 66 if you want to take the miniest version of a Route 66 road trip.
I feel like the idea of road tripping is very unique to countries as large as the U.S. just because you could drive for 6 hours and still be in Illinois, but other parts of the world, you drive for 6 hours, you pass like 2-3 countries. Like if I drove for 3 hours from my house in Jordan, I would be in Lebanon.
All right, so we are hopping in the car with executive producer Simone Alicea. Air freshened up.
There's CityCast pins? How many times you gotta be a guest to get a pin?
It smells so good in here.
All right, so we just got in the car. You can still hear the Bucky Boys inside of here. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Look over my right shoulder, you can see Sears Tower.
Let's go.
So we're going south on Michigan. Let's start in the loop, y'all. Y'all got any picks on y'all list at the very start of Route 66? Obviously, I think the big one is the Art Institute right at the very start of the route. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things that's pretty, I don't want to say underrated because it's right in front of you, but it is just the parks to your left once you leave the Art Institute. There's also one of my favorite Metro stops. It is a Metro entrance that looks like the Metro entrances in Paris, and there's also only one in Mexico City. Mm-hmm. The sister cities got one that looks like it, and it's endangered. It was at risk of being taken down, but it's a cool little stop that some people might not notice. We made a video about it, and people were like, "Oh, I've never even seen that before," and I work right next to it.
Yeah.
The Van Buren Metro stop, I use it all the time. Yeah, last I heard they were gonna replace them, but are they keeping them?
I haven't heard anything.
Move them.
Okay.
I think they're using rehabilitation of it as the scapegoat to move them. So we don't know.
Okay.
But I will say at this corner right here, Wabash, this Kimball building, which is the DePaul campus. You can see Kimball is a faint little ghost sign, and that was one of the premier piano makers in Chicago, and to the point where Chicago was one of the piano manufacturers of the world. So that's now my favorite fun fact around this area.
That's pretty cool. A couple of dessert spots back at the start of the route as well. I saw Kilwins and Palmer House is like a block over from the Art Institute, so you can stop and get that Palmer House brownie where they will tell you with no hesitation that they invented the brownie.
Yeah, that brownie is good too.
It is
that
so
brownie
good.
is good.
We went in the kitchen a couple of years ago, met with the staff and the chefs. They kind of tell you the story of the World's Fair back in 1893.
A lot of things happened in 1893.
Oh my! So many things go back to 1893. Route 66 doesn't go back that far, but it was already conceived of by the time we get to the Second World's Fair.
Yeah. Something I will tell you a little bit later on this road trip. Something else did start in 1893 that y'all probably don't know, and I'm gonna hold off on this fun fact.
Oh my God. All right, are you ready to win Mother's Day and cement your reputation as the best gift giver in the family? Well, give the moms in your life an Aura digital picture frame preloaded with decades of family photos. Seriously, I've already given it to my mom. My partner has given it to her mom and her grandma. I've got one at my house for my damn self. Some of my favorite features are how easy it is to set up. I was able to upload all my mom's pics and a couple 30-second videos without even opening the gift box it comes in. I was able to create a shared album right on my phone that me and my siblings can all contribute to from across the country, and with the unlimited storage, we never run out of memories. So, if you're in need of a gift, look no further than Aura's industry-leading digital frame. Now, you know I didn't mention all of that just to not throw you a great Aura Mother's Day deal. For a limited time, listeners can get $35 off. Yes, $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame when they visit auraframes.com. That's AURA frames.com. Enter that promo code CityCast for your discount. Hey, make sure you support the show by mentioning us at checkout, and remember, terms and conditions apply. Hey, it's Jacoby, and if you love CityCast Chicago, I've got a way for you to get even more out of it, and that's by becoming a CityCast Chicago neighbor. Neighbor is the new name for the CityCast Chicago membership program. When you become a neighbor, you're not just supporting our work, you're unlocking benefits that make being a part of this amazing city even more engaging, enjoyable, and rewarding, like access to our exclusive member-only events. Think insider tours, volunteering meetups, happy hours with other neighbors who love Chicago just like you. Every Monday, we're going to send you a curated list of the best things happening in the city so you always feel tapped in. You're going to get ad-free episodes in a special feed, a thank you on air, and even a chance to shout out your favorite local business or organization. And get this, if you join this week, we're going to send you a coffee mug with our brand new CityCast Chicago neighbor logo. It's our way of giving a little thank you for you being a part of these everyday chats, for joining up to support our work. It means a lot to us. Head over to membership.citycast.fm today to become a CityCast Chicago neighbor. That's membership.citycast.fm. And again, we appreciate you. Before we jump back into the car and get Dario's fun fact, I got to give one more birthday shout out to Zach C., who just became a CityCast Chicago neighbor by going to membership.citycast.fm. Not only is it cool that Zach shares a birthday with yours truly, happy birthday, Zach, and with the name Route 66, but I really love hearing why they joined, saying, I love the podcast, great information, and love the communication. Zach, we are so happy to bring it to you. We appreciate you for all of your support. Now, if anyone else wants to get us a little birthday gift by becoming a member, you can do it at membership.citycast.fm. Remember, it means you are supporting the show, plus you're going to get the perks, the ad-free listening when you do sign up. And please tell us why you joined, because seriously, it means a lot to hear from every single person who is signing up during this membership campaign. We might read it on the pod as well. Again, that's membership.citycast.fm. Now let's get back to Route 66. And as y'all can tell, the rain. We are passing on Adams the Flamingo sculpture.
That's this route is also Ferris Bueller's Day Off. the parade route.
Facts after facts after facts.
Inside of the Sterling Food Hall is Hot Shot Chicken. A lot of good food in there, but Hot Shot Chicken, if y'all haven't had that,
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
they originate on 87th out south, and
They just opened out here.
they just opened up in here. Good food.
The interesting thing about Sterling Food Hall is every single restaurant in there is actually locally owned. There are no chains.
Oh, we're passing a Route 66 sign outside of the 7-Eleven right off of Wacker and Adams.
Iconic location. Do you have a favorite bridge that goes over the river?
Oh. Is DuSable a cop-out?
No. No. Of course, the raindrops.
Got the rain going on in the background. We just passed another historic Route 66 sign at Des Plaines and Adams. It really kind of guides you along the route. Now we entering into Greektown. I see Athena, Greek islands, and the National Hellenic Museum is one of the most beautiful mid-sized museum in Chicago.
Yeah.
It is their most recent remodel is gorgeous.
I think Athena is the now first restaurant featured on our podcast. Episode.
I like they have like a little. They open the roof on the inside, so you feel like you're sitting, and there's fountains and stuff. It's really
that
cool.
waterfall walk.
What's your favorite thing to get at Athena?
Ooh.
They have the very garlicky potatoes that are phenomenal, which I think you can find at any Greek restaurant. But those
That
are
chicken, though.
Chicken's really good.
That chicken is
Their
pretty.
margaritas are good.
Yeah, that's my favorite. The margarita is actually top notch.
Taking this route that feels, like you said, Simone, kind of unnatural is kind of nice because you're passing through so many different neighborhoods that you might normally just not go through. Like if I'm going to where we're going, I would never go through Greektown maybe.
Like you might just hop on the highway, you might take a different main road, but what's interesting is we talk about Route 66 as like this mother road, this great American road trip, but like right now we just passed Skinner Elementary and the United Center. We're in like UIC campus. Like this is not road trip. Like we start in the middle of downtown. Can you kind of talk about some of that like evolution and how like it in many ways just it can never be what it used to be because now we're kind of going through residential area.
Yeah, I feel like Chicago was lucky because thinking of the late 19th century, we were considered the wild west. And so when the city expanded, we had the option, obviously after the fire to expand west. Residential pushed into these like back roads that were kind of like Route 66 that just...
Just passed another historic Route 66 sign.
You don't realize how many signs there are because you're right. This is not a route that a Chicagoan would take to do this.
We are about to make that diagonal turn onto Ogden. And the Route 66 signs really guide you along, like guide you up Adams, take you around the medical district, and kind of send you straight up Ogden, where you are introduced immediately to the throwback Church's Chicken.
Yeah, this is...
Which, boy, them boys was prolific when I was a kid.
They were. They were the Walgreens.
That was the mainstay after Sunday church.
Yeah.
Was Church's Chicken, and the one right here on Jackson got the 10-piece leg, thigh, or tender for $12.99.
Okay, now what's your order though? I haven't ordered from Church's Inn. That logo is even new from when I was.
Honestly, I only remember getting it with my family, and so I'd probably be getting it to go to my mom's house, and I'm gonna go and hit them up for this 10-piece.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
this
the
seems
probably
like a deal.
thighs though.
Yeah.
Or a little mix and match if we can.
If you can. I don't know. Back in the day, they used to be sticklers over. You get what you get. Now, this is the medical district is this is historic. Obviously, I want to get to the point of the fun fact that I had. I think we might all know that this is the largest medical district, not only in the United States but entire North America. So that's
How many different hospitals are?
You got a bunch. You got all four of Chicago's major ones: Stroger, Cook, Rush, the VA, different things medically related here in the area. But something that was also in this area started in 1893, It was the second version of the West Side Baseball Park, and it debuted 1893, and that's where the Chicago Cubs used Chicago Cubs for the first time here. Yeah. So this is a pretty historic area. There used to be a baseball field here. The Cubs. Yeah, there used to be a West Side team.
The big Illinois Medical District sign. Rush University Medical College, University of Illinois College of Medicine at Chicago. 560 acres of medical research facilities, over 40 different orgs, 40 different institutions
right there on the left.
located on this campus.
Oh, there it is.
Another Route 66 sign. It's one of the newer ones that was put up last year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it was the largest in North America.
Me either.
Yeah, that's just another reason why Chicago is we them boys. We them boys.
We just passed Union Park, which makes me think about the last Pitchfork.
Oh.
Passing another Vienna beef. Lulu's.
This look good.
Classic Vienna beef sign. Yeah. That mural, that Lulu's mural is nice. The amount of public art we've passed.
Oh, yeah.
Like that mosaic
Yep.
on that elementary school. The murals you just see like along Ogden.
Chicago is art. Like the whole city is just art. Ela, here's another historic sign.
Another historic Route 66 right across, unfortunately, from the Cook County Juvenile Detention Center.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm shocked we haven't seen so far?
What?
Top Dog Law.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
It maybe passes on a bus, but I haven't seen the billboard.
I haven't seen the billboard. You know what's actually funny that we bring this up? Like, this would be a fun road trip car game. How many Top Dog could you spy?
I Spy Top Dog.
We should have done that since we technically started this. We're gonna need a part 2.
Oh, there's another historic sign.
Have y'all ever done this road trip, like just outside of this?
I've actually driven on this before, this Adams to Ogden.
Yeah. I mean, I have 2.
But not with any type of like thought or intention. Because also we're about to pass CineSpace Studios, so I've had to come over here to go to CineSpace Studios a couple of times where people have shot all kinds of commercials, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD shoots out there, a few movies have shot on there. When you get inside of the gates, you'll start seeing like big posters from some of the things that have shot there. Like a really expansive lot. I think Chicago's biggest.
I think so
like
too.
Film and TV and commercial lot.
I believe it is. Ogden is crazy how long Ogden is. Like,
Do you know exactly how long it is?
I don't know, but I know it go all the way out to Orland Park. I mean, out that direction, Tinley and everything.
It is 37.5 miles.
We're at the corner of California and Ogden, right by Mount Sinai, across from Douglas Park, renamed after Anna and Frederick Douglass. I think in the last 5 years. I know when some people think of Douglas Park, they think about the sort of back and forth battle around Riot Fest. A ton of people in the neighborhood have spoken out consistently over its time in the neighborhood. It's been pushed out of Humboldt Park already in its history. Last year, they were going to pop out to Bridgeview to go to SeatGeek, which pissed off the stars. And then they they released mock-ups. A whole announcement is going to be like a Riotland Carnival setup just for them to backtrack, come back to Douglas Park with the major support and headwind of the neighborhood's alder, Monique Scott. Like, she was a big supporter of Riot Fest the entire time. And so, I mean, they're back here, 20th anniversary. They have announced more investments in park infrastructure and cleanup. A ton of people still sort of pissed off by this, but it looks like the relationship is ongoing.
I would say that was one hell of a power play by the organizers of Riot Fest, because they didn't mention to the city officials that they were doing that. They just did it.
And they talked down on the Chicago Park
They
District
did.
the entire time.
They did. Only for them to come back and be like, yeah, we won this battle. That's crazy.
I was going to say Douglas Park was a part of one of those, the original group of park designs from
Jens Jensen.
Yep.
Basically, this was the crown jewel. Douglas Park was the crown jewel of parks. And now we're about to go to the edge of the city. Oh, Top Dog.
First Top Dog Law sign.
Top Dog. Let's go.
And once you get past Douglas Park, things start opening up a little bit. Start to see way more semi-trucks parked on the side of the road.
Got Farm on Ogden,
Part of the
Chicago Botanic Garden.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting, actually.
I've never been there before.
No.
They got a lot going on over at the Farm on Ogden. Multi-use facility, indoor year-round market. They got a variety of courses on aquaponics. You can learn workshops on community gardening. You can tour their facilities. Oh, that's really cool. Shout out to Farm on Ogden. We just passed Principal Barbers, where we interviewed Mayor Brandon Johnson when he was still just campaigning for the role a couple of years ago. Shout out to the North Lawndale Employment Network as well.
Yeah.
In this community. Principal Barbers, they also host an open mic now.
Oh, really?
That Fresh Waters, MFM Mellow put on, I think, every single month. You can find that in our events calendar at chicago.citycast.fm.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we've made it to the end. We are about Ogden, Cermak, Pulaski is about to intersect into us as well. I mean, it's a pretty quick trip if you're just thinking about like inside of Chicago, but there is a lot on this route. Yeah. And a lot of things that I interact with, again, whether it was United Center, Illinois Medical District, the Art Institute, and I've never paid attention, Cinespace, I've never really paid attention to the Route 66 signs along the way. And then, so you can end this thing by popping over to DTLR.
get your fit right.
Right? Get you some mics. Get you a new socks hat. Like, even though it is, again, doesn't feel like the mother road, at least until you get to Ogden. Like, it is like the history of Route 66. This idea of connecting Chicago, the rural communities, the things that popped up along the way. And even if it isn't like old school diners and gas stations, there are still like very significant, especially for Chicago, like institutions along this historic route. So even if just by like happenstance or accident, it still, as you drive up it, feels deeply connected to like vital Chicago organizations and institutions in a really cool way.
I never paid attention that this was Route 66. Like, we see the signs, but like, you didn't think about it. But like, when you think about what's around it and when it started, it almost makes sense. You got hospitals, you got the medical district, of course, started there. Talk about the baseball team that started, right around that area. So it was a major road. So you had to have, these were the Chicago type attractions, right? And further you get out of the city, you get motels and other type of things like that.
I always envisioned it before experiencing it as just like a highway. You would think it's just like a major highway. I feel like it's really representative of what Chicago feels like. We went through multiple community areas, a lot of great food, a lot of great attractions that you can stop and see. And it's just an entirely new experience, even if you live here. And
this was also the first fully paved highway in America. So going through the Chicago portion, I'm sure our part was one of the first paved areas, but that's an interesting thing to know.
Along the route, what was your favorite thing?
if I'm being honest, before we started doing the podcast, I was a avid loop hater, and now I actually really love it a lot. Once you like learn about the architecture and like everything around it, I love going through that Art Institute, heading west. I think that road just looks, all of the first skyscrapers, all of these just iconic buildings. I really love, and I love Greektown. That was also a good spot.
I don't have a favorite one particular spot, but I think it's kind of crazy to think about how close these things are in reality. Like Douglas Park is just right here. It feels like it'd take you forever to get there, coming from like the north side or the south side. You know what I mean? And we just went here in like less than 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
Really helps to do it in the middle of the day on a Friday. But no, when you think about all of the things we passed, if you just told somebody, like, what'd you do today? I started at the Art Institute. I went over to Greek Town. I popped by the United Center.
That sounds like
went
a
through
full
the
day.
Medical District. Went over to Union Park. Stopped by Douglas Park. Then went to Principal Barbers. Ended up at DTLR.
Yeah,
over
right.
Pulaski and Ogden. Right, that feels like a much more full day. And but how, like you said, how quickly, how closely things are. But I also think along this route, we didn't talk about it a lot, but you start in this very wealthy part of the city.
Yeah.
And as you move out, the city just morphs and changes, like from block to block, North Lawndale and Little Village, and how different they are. And it is so beautiful to see how close things are, but at the same time, how different the city can be in a matter of 20 minutes.
Yeah. Literally 20 minutes in the whole city changes. On one strip, we didn't even make any turns. We just kept on going straight, from the Art Institute. That's crazy.
Kind of makes you think about how much you miss going from point A to point B, doing it this way and really paying attention to the Route 66 signs that are guiding you, taking in just how much space the Illinois Medical District takes up. Again, I'm usually just passing that on 290.
I mean, it's really dope to kind of see. We did end up at DTLR. We're not joking, y'all.
We about to pop in there.
And the AutoZone.
We are literally at city limits.
Go to the Dunkin'
And
drive-thru.
then you don't even realize how close city limits are, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because we're right outside of Cicero, or right about to cross into Cicero.
You visually know it, but you don't realize it when you drive it. Damn, we that close to the edge.
Hey, I want to give a huge thank you to our guest today, hopping in the car with us from 77 Flavors of Chicago, Sarah Fada. Sarah, thank you for jumping on with us.
Thanks for having us.
And Dario Durham, thank you for being in the building.
Yes, sir. You already know what it is.
Before we get out of here, you know what time it is. We are shouting out our newest CityCast Chicago neighbors, and we got a lot of them. Hold on. Thanks so much to Sharon R., Kelly J., Mary Y., James A., and James B. We got Sophie C., Megan O., LaBianca W., Lee W., Jack S., Sophie Z., Michael C., and Michael Z. Hey, we really appreciate every single person who says that they believe in us by giving us $10 a month. Even if you just doing it for the mug, we appreciate it. We will take it. And to everybody who is listening to the podcast who is yet to become a CityCast Chicago neighbor, hey, we really appreciate y'all being here. We know them dollars is hard earned. We're going to keep asking for them, all right? Every single person I just shouted out joined at membership.citycast.fm. Y'all are really showing up and showing out for CityCast Chicago. Your support means we keep doing this every single day. Trust me. They is watching these numbers, y'all. We trying to get them up. I'm looking for 11 more people to join today to help it keep going. Are you going to be one of them? If you are, here's that link one more time. Membership.citycast.fm. And again, I appreciate every single person who became a CityCast Chicago neighbor over the last couple of weeks. I can't wait to meet many more of you in person at our next membership event. But the only way you're going to get that invite is if you sign up now. All right, I can't close the door on the podcast. We can't get up out of here without some good news. I want to give a huge shout out to some bookstores that I love. 57th Street Books is hosting The Mic, a writing workshop at open mic today from 3 to 5. Pilsen Community Books is hosting a Palestinian Feminism 101 teach-in at 7 tonight. And then on Sunday, Call and Response Books is celebrating their 1-year anniversary from 12 to 5. These are just a few of the bookstores I love. And we're going to be here bright and early tomorrow with our guide to May. We'll talk to you then. Peace. And it's the toughest rain in a minute.
Yeah.
We haven't had it.
We've had a
this.
couple drizzles, but this one beating down on the hood of the car.
Yeah, this one is acting a fool right now.
As loud as the Bucket Boys.
Yeah.